And what
25th?
What day was
Tomorrow.
Was tomorrow. So he could get two more starts.
If I'm the Mets, I make sure he gets that last start. And
because that's a throwaway game, that last start. So he could throw 6, give up 0 or 1 run, and hopefully the Mets could score 2.
Yeah. And innings pitched is 209.
Yeah.
Strikeouts 259. The WHIP is .94.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yep.
He has had every number he has been phenomenal, except wins, because the Mets are disgusting.
Disgusting is being nice, actually.
You know, if I had a vote for Cy Young, I don't know how you don't give it to DeGrom. Like I said, 20, I'm pretty sure it's 23 starts in a row, 3 runs or less. It's never been done in baseball history.
Yep.
So if you have a guy who has been that good all season and done something in historic perspective that no other pitcher has ever done in baseball history, I don't know how you rule that out. I don't know how you ignore that and say, well, let's give it to Max Scherzer.
No.
You can't blame Jacob deGrom for his offense being disgusting. You have to put the blame for that on Sandy Alderson and on the Wilpons and on every Met hitter who's been a bum this year. Well,
I'm looking at the innings pitched. A lot of games he's pitched either 7 or 8 for the most part,
which is more than most pitchers pitch.
Right. So
you said 209 innings already.
Yeah, 209.
That's I don't know what the innings numbers are for most other pitchers, but I would guess right now it's got to be at least top 3 in the league, if not even top 2. Because I know Scherzer pitches a lot of innings too, but there's not a lot of guys with 209 who still possibly have 2 starts left, because that's going to be probably another 14 innings right there. So he's looking at close to 225, and these days that's a big number.
That is a big number.
So also with the Mets, just to throw some other stuff out there, the Mets have shut down Zach Wheeler for the rest of the season. Even though Zach Wheeler has been phenomenal.
What's that term mean?
He's not going to pitch again.
That's it?
Because he'll stay with the team, but he's not going to pitch. He's already exceeded his innings from last year. They don't want to put too much on his arm, considering he's coming off the big surgery that he had. So they're being cautious with him, which is a good move, because what are the Mets playing for?
Nothing.
You know, Zach Wheeler's been phenomenal in the second half. He's been DeGrom-like in the second half. That's how good he's been. But now the Mets face a decision. Do you try to negotiate an extension with Zach Wheeler?
Yes.
And do you believe what he's done in the second half is going to continue going forward? Or do you look at it and say, well, he's had a great half of a season, and do we want to give him like a 4 or 5 year deal at $15 million a year or so based on that?
Well, this is I'm on Mets.com again. Last 7 games, 5-1. Last 15 games,
15. Go with the 15.
10-1.
Yeah, 10-1. ERA.
Last 30 games,
ERA
2.06.
Oh,
last 30 games, 12-7, 3.31. So the last 15 games is where
second half of the season. That's what I said. He's been phenomenal. Schwami's picked him up right around then.
Incredible.
A little before that. We did a good thing with that. Wilmer Flores, your boy, brother. Shut down after it was discovered he has early onset arthritis in both of his knees.
How do you find
both.
that out? How do you find that out?
So my knees are in better condition than Wilmer Flores's. He's 28.
Yep.
I don't know how this happens, and especially how does it happen to the Mets? Let's see. Mets basically for the rest of the season. What, they have 6 or 7 games left.
Yep.
They're auditioning. Steven Matz pitched yesterday. Pitched 3 innings.
Well, the thing is, they also said that Stephen Wright might.
David Wright.
Stephen Wright's the comedian.
And pitches for the Red Sox.
Yeah, he's a Red Sox fan.
No, Stephen Wright is a pitcher for the Red Sox also.
Oh, okay. Stephen Wright, the comedian, is also a Red Sox fan.
If you say so.
He's from Boston. Anyway, David Wright, excuse me.
Yes. He will be playing this week.
Right, but there's a chance he might play earlier than the Miami series.
Possible.
Because it was said that the Mets didn't want him to play just in case, they didn't want to have Atlanta.
Atlanta
maybe claim the league, the division championship, based on the Mets almost giving away in case David Wright can't play.
And David Wright said that at the press conference a week and a half ago.
But now the Atlanta Braves have clinched. So he
could play. That's because those games now they don't matter in the scope of are the Braves playing for something, and would the Phillies or whichever team, would somebody have an issue with the Mets maybe not putting their best team out there because you don't know what you're going to get from David Wright.
Right, and it's interesting because everyone's expecting the 29th against Miami. David Wright's coming back, but it could be actually before.
He could wind up maybe pinch hitting or maybe playing a couple innings in the field. Yep. Who knows? You might just get him out there just to see what he can do.
But I think if you're going to do this whole setup, you have him come on in the beginning of the game. So the fans can cheer him and give him the goodbye he deserves.
Let him play 5 innings.
Let him play 5 innings,
even before the Marlins here. I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let him just get him out there once. He really can't play back-to-back games. If you're going to do that, either have him pinch hit, or like you said, play him, have him get a couple of at bats, take him out in the 5th or the 6th inning,
right.
and let him give him a day or two to get ready for whatever is going to be his last game,
which is
the
most
29th.
Likely the 29th.
Right.
And that's a Saturday. It's a 7:10 game. Channel 11 has it, so everyone can watch it. So it's going to be a major game.
It's going to be an event. It's not going to be a major game because the game doesn't mean anything,
right.
but it's going to be an event for Mets and the Met fans.
But it's you don't often get to say goodbye to a player like him at home. This is a.
Oh, the Yankees did with Derek Jeter.
Yeah, but that was a little different. Jeter was going out. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's, he did so much. He didn't have his career stolen by.
Right. I know what you mean from the sense that David Wright's been hurt. Yeah. Obviously, for the last 3 years, he's been trying to battle back and get back on the field and wanted to get back to being an everyday player. But he's finally gotten to the point where he says, "Look, I can't do it anymore. My body is saying no.
Yep.
My age is now working against me, and I can't do this anymore." Yep. So, it's nice that the Mets can do this, and it's nice. But we really let's face facts. In 3 years, David Wright hasn't played a major league game.
Right.
So and Mets fans have no idea.
And Mattingly's going to be around on
Donnie Baseball.
Yeah. So someone is going to be smart enough in the papers and in the papers in New York to connect Donnie Baseball to David Wright and do an article for a Sunday paper.
Huh? Connecting how?
Spinal stenosis.
I don't think Don Mattingly had spinal stenosis.
I thought he had spinal stenosis.
I know he had a back issue.
Well,
it wasn't necessarily spinal stenosis.
We'll
have to look that up.
Back. They both went through it.
Well,
they both had their careers.
Mattingly knows what it's like to have to deal with a bad back and to have that rob you of your special abilities. I don't know. I don't think he did, but I don't know. Oh, okay. I know he had a back issue. He hurt himself on a swing and did something to his back that I don't know what it was, but I don't think that was spinal stenosis. But that Mattingly before that injury was obviously one of the special players in the game, and after that, you can look at his stats: 6 years of Hall of Fame quality greatness, and then 6 years of replacement value is basically the baseball term that's used. Right. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with the Mets. Their Mets are still of the mindset that they can contend next year because they like what they've seen out of their pitchers. Syndergaard obviously needs to stay healthy for an entire year. DeGrom, I think, obviously the Mets know what they have and would love him to be what he's been this year for many more years, even though he's going to be 30 soon. But I still don't think they really know or have a firm handle on what they have with Steven Matz. So, where is this team going? I don't know. If health has become such an issue with the Mets because for the last couple of years, bad health has sabotaged their season. And you can't just keep saying, "Well, we have all these pitchers and we can win a title off of these pitchers." Well, yes and no. You still need enough of an offense and a good enough defense, especially with the pitchers, to win those games and to win the 3-2 games or 4-2 games or whatever. Wheeler has shown in the second half that he can be an elite pitcher. What do you got?
It says here that he had a degenerative disc in his lower back.
That's not spinal stenosis.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's back surgery that never worked.
Right.
Yeah, but back issues. I don't know that anybody's going to necessarily combine that into a story, but clearly, I think Mattingly will be interviewed, and just from the perspective of he was a great New York athlete whose career was shortened and impacted by a back issue. So and like I said, to be robbed of his abilities.
And both players never won a World Series, but they made the playoffs.
Yes.
And they both are loved.
Yes, very much.
David Wright
so.
is, for many Mets fans, this generation's Donnie Baseball. If you think
Yes, agreed.
Classy guys and everything like that.
Agreed.
So what else we got, brother?
Very quickly, brother. I'm going to go through a couple things. The Knicks have been involved in a potential trade for shooting guard Jimmy Butler with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The T-Wolves actually want to try to get a deal done by today. They don't want Jimmy Butler anymore. Jimmy Butler has demanded a trade. Minnesota wanted to get rid of him before the trade deadline. In fact, check the usual website and just make sure he hasn't been traded yet, because the Timberwolves owner wants him out. Jimmy Butler has given a list of 3 teams that he wants to be traded to. One of them is our New York Knicks, and all I can say to the New York Knicks brass is, please don't do this. Please don't do this. There is absolutely no reason to give up assets to trade for Jimmy Butler. None, zero, no.
Is he worth it? That's the question.
He's a great player. Don't get me wrong.
But is he worth it? That's the question.
I don't think he. Well, let's put it this way: if I am the New York Knicks, my sole focus on this year, on the coming season, is to lose as many games as possible. Porzingis is not going to be back until earliest January.
Right.
So, fine, let him sit out the season. Let Kevin Knox play as many minutes as possible. And Kevin Knox and Jimmy Butler basically play the same position. So, if Jimmy Butler comes to the Knicks, he's going to get a lot more touches. He is going to impact Kevin Knox's development in a negative way.
I'm sorry, though. You can't say to the Knicks fans, oh, by the way, next year, because how many times we've heard that?
The goal is to lose as many games as possible, to potentially get the number 1 pick in the lottery, and to draft Zion Williamson, who will be going to Duke this year, of course, because every good prospect goes to Duke because, they don't pay any of the other players or do anything bad like that. But, Kentucky's bad. Duke is good. But he is a generational talent from what everybody is saying about this kid.
Folks,
generational.
I can listen to my brother knock Duke for hours.
All right. But Zion Williamson should be the Knicks' target and their focus. And if you bring Jimmy Butler in, now you become a 37-win team.
Okay, you're
and
right.
Now you got no shot at getting that number 1 pick. So the Knicks need to develop Kevin Knox. That's number 1. They need to let Porzingis sit out the entire season. Make sure the knee is healthy. That's the excuse. Make sure he's good. There's already talk about extending Porzingis, by the way, who could sign for 5 years and $157 million on a max contract. If I'm the Knicks, I do that tomorrow because that's a bargain in today's NBA. But the Knicks, the Nets, and the Clippers were on that list. If I'm the Knicks, fine. Nets, if you want him, take him. Clippers, if you want him, take him. Don't want him. Joakim Noah is expected to be waived or bought out before training camp starts this week. And Steve Mills, I will quote, was talking about trading draft picks for players entering free agency, because that's another thing with Jimmy Butler. He is 1 year from free agency, so you can get him on a free agent contract. Plus, before the trade, he wants a 5-year, $190 million extension.
Nope.
No, can't do it.
We got to end the show, brother. Big Ed's coming up next, and you know what that means. Big sound is in the town.
By the way, congratulations to Tiger Woods on finally winning a tournament again.
By the way, just to let you know, brother, Beatles Songs every Friday at 8 p.m., hosted by NCC alumnus Rob Leonard. Beatles Songs takes an encompassing look at the Beatles, featuring the music together, apart, as well as cover songs the Beatles covered, and songs the Beatles either guested on or produced. That's
and
Beatles
Chalk
Songs.
Talk before it happens.
Every Friday at 8 p.m. Big Ed is next. Do not touch your dial. Great oldies for the next 4 hours. Big Ed for 2 of them, and then Colton for the next 2 after that. Brother, you're at Twitter at
Real Tim Leonard.
See you guys later. Bye-bye.
The views expressed on air are not necessarily those of WHPC, its management, or Nassau Community College. Responsible opposing viewpoints will be considered by emailing them to whpc@ncc.edu or by mail at WHPC 1 Education Drive, Garden City, New York 11530. Thanks for listening to the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.